Who's playing MDF this year?
Well, you usually book most of the bands that I care about
AKA Steel. Thanks, Ryan and Evan.
At a show in New York, typically right before.
We're stealing Viscera Infest. We're stealing Wormrot.
Yeah.
A few other bands.
So that one will be playing, the Wormrot one. Wormrot, Cognizant. Who else is on MDF that you're...
Who knows? Pulmonary fibrosis, but that's a different show.
That's a different show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for them, though. I like them a lot.
I forget. Oh, Gasp is playing. I'm really excited about that. Even though they announced that they were going to be playing the East Coast like a week after I bought a ticket out to California to see their first reunion. Yes.
When was that?
Back in September, they did that like Power Violence
You went
project.
to that?
I did.
It was like the 2 shows?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Didn't you see the posters up in the stairwell?
No, I didn't see them in the stairwell, but I saw them on the internet and they looked awesome.
Yeah, no, they were really good shows. It was awesome. I haven't seen Cap Kaz in like 8 years.
Yeah.
But it was like really awesome to get to see like the first Gasp show back. To my knowledge, I think it was like the first one they played.
Yeah.
And then
it was good though.
Yeah, no,
like
fucking
the whole fest.
Yeah, I got to see Redacted, which is cool.
Yeah.
For a West Bay nerd like me.
That's good.
Got to see Tony Molina, and I've met that dude like a handful of times, and he doesn't ever recognize me. And this time, despite not recognizing me, he was pointing out a guy who he was going to try and stab with his keys later that night.
That's cool. It wasn't
cool.
you.
It wasn't me. No.
Okay, good.
He just was like pointing at some like, like train hopper kind of dude who was just like, man, fuck that guy. He like used to talk shit on Power Violence. Now he's all into it. Fuck him.
So he's going to stab posers.
He was going to stab a poser with the key, which is pretty awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So that was cool.
That's awesome. It reminded me of the fest that I went to in 2011, Short, Fast, and Loud.
Yeah.
But Plutocracy played that.
I went out to, well, not that, but I did when Plutocracy did a reunion thing when they put out Off the Pigs. They did a show in L.A. with Bastard Noise.
Oh, shit.
Pergeria. Lack of Interest, who at that point I was like, they're never coming to the East Coast. I better fly out and see them.
Yeah, of course.
And then like 2 times after that, they came out to Baltimore. Whatever. Saw it all of them.
Never bad, though.
Absolutely
Always
not. They're the fucking best.
Perfect.
That's
a band that we can definitely
agree on.
100%.
As you look behind you and see the Trapped Inside poster up on the wall.
God, that's a perfect album.
So that show in LA was insane. It was at this place called the Boulevard. It was like 110
I've
degrees.
Been there.
It was insane. It was 110 degrees inside, and Bob drummed the entire Lack of Interest set in a fucking coat because he always wears a coat when he plays for some reason.
Why?
I don't know. It was hot as shit. He was clearly uncomfortable. It was not like I have some sort of deficiency where I need to be like warm all the time. He was miserably sweating.
Yeah. That place has like 5 rooms too. You'd think they'd have good airflow.
It did not.
We live in the backyard.
There was definitely a guy in a wheelchair in the pit during Lack of Interest.
Cool.
It was awesome. He was not afraid, which was cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, so I flew out to see Plutocracy because, favorite-ish band. So wasn't about to miss that. Yeah. They were fucking great. But the only bad thing about that show was that Bad Acid Trip played. And that is some Goof Troop shit.
I've never seen them. Wait, no, are they from Michigan?
Mm-mm. They're from, like, L.A., I think.
Oh.
Somewhere in California.
Who am I thinking of that's from Michigan with acid in their name? I don't know.
Michigan.
I keep fucking up band names lately.
Yeah.
Wait, are they Noise?
No. No, they're just like some fucking like carnival grind. I don't know.
Are they young kids?
No.
Damn, I'm really off on this.
They had like some records back in the 90s. I'm trying to think of who they did like a split with. But they
I'm going to look them up on Discogs.
Yeah, do it. I just remember the singer was like mad corny. He kind of looked like some dude who'd be in like a System of a Down cover band, and like He had this like real goofy like intro thing where he's like, "We're gonna play some what we used to call West Coast power violence."
Oh my gosh.
And at that point, I walked out of the room.
Yeah. As one does.
Yeah.
I can't find it. It's not working. The internet's not working. Oh, here we go. Thrash grind experimental band from USA. Pick
Yeah.
a P.O. box for Glendale. Kung Fu Rick split.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That checks out.
Municipal Waste.
Really?
Yeah.
There's another band I haven't.
Beanum. Oh, I love Beanum.
That's the one I'm thinking of.
Yes.
Yeah, Benum's awesome.
Benum?
Why still?
I call him Beanum. Beanum.
Whatever.
I'm so southern.
Benum.
Beanum, they're great. Seriously, check out Beanum if you have a chance.
Benum by means of upheaval.
Do you love them?
I do.
Tell me more.
Well,
While I eat chips.
more about Benum.
Yeah. Why? Like, they never really played shows.
How do you know that?
What?
How do you know that?
Because I never see flyers with them on it.
All right.
I look at old flyers. I'm a weirdo.
Okay.
Don't you?
Yeah.
Like, I look at, like, they had that, there was that compilation zine with, like, all the flyers from Gilman.
Yeah.
I always like seeing, like, Green Day, Capitalist Casualties, like, on the same show.
Yeah.
That's
kind of a crazy mindfuck to think about.
Yeah, and with the internet nowadays, like, I can, like, look at, like, all the old show flyers and, like, geek out.
But, the dude from Benum's in a band you booked.
What?
Lie Still.
Wait, what?
The dude from Lie Still.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
The big guy. Singer.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I would have geeked out with him on that if I knew.
Yep.
Didn't know.
The more you know.
So they're still doing it.
I mean, he is. I don't think anyone else from Benum's in that band.
Does he like hummus?
I think you're pretty hard pressed to find someone who doesn't like hummus.
Yeah, I think anyone who doesn't like hummus is a poser. For sure. I think it's one of the most palatable foods you can eat. Not just saying that as a vegan.
I think most non-vegans fuck with hummus.
I think we just lost one of our last 2 listeners by me saying I'm vegan.
Oh, the third guy who was holding on after all of our pig destroyer and insect warfare bashing
Yes.
was like, fuck vegans!
Fuck vegans! I'm eating a steak right now. Arr. Which is weird because I have no problem with meat. People can eat meat all they want. I just don't eat it. Yeah, Benum's good. But those California shows, I ended up going out that year, and I went on, quote, tour with Capitalist. There's just a few shows. And it was really interesting because every show was like 300 kids. Just
Yeah.
like random ass Tuesday.
Fuck it.
Yeah, one of the dates was L.A. It was at the Boulevard, and Fallacious It Is Secrecy the Dilapidation played. It was great. And there's like 300 people there easily. It was amazing. It was super hot.
Yeah.
I remember that venue being really
Really
hot.
fucking hot, yeah.
But it was cool. LA brings it out. Like, those kids come out for it. Even like the small shows. I've been to like a couple. I went to like Lieutenant Dan show or something. At East 7th Street. And then I've been
Is
to
that the like tire shop thing I always hear about?
No, I've been to Perez Tire Shop
Okay.
a couple of times too. It's in Compton. I
Oh,
always
nice.
feel really tough when I'm going there. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to Compton to see a fucking grind show.
You just like make sure you wear a Despise You shirt so you're like everything's cool.
Right? Go with my best friend who's Mexican and Asian. She's like, everything's fine. Don't be scared. No, I'm not that scared. But I love Perez. It's a cool place. And everyone who like does stuff out there is just great. The smaller shows are like people come out like 200 kids sometimes.
I'm kind of debating on
kids.
whether or not I want to fly out for that SU-19B show out there this summer.
When's that?
I don't know. It's happening sometime this year. See if shit's playing. Lineup looks pretty good, but I don't think I'll ever. On the off chance I make it to Japan, I don't know that I'm ever going to be able to like line it up to see SU-19B.
Yeah. I don't think so either.
Yeah, I should probably just buckle down and like fly out
That
to LA.
flyer's been circulating a lot for it being later on in the summer.
I don't know how late in the summer it is. I just know that it's sometime
You said
this year.
this summer. I think it's like next month.
Is it really?
I don't know.
Oh, fuck. I better look into that.
I'm not sure, but I know when Sea of Shit plays there, they do well.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I feel like it's coming up, though.
All right. Well, as soon as we're done, I'm going to go look into that.
All right. Maybe we'll both fly out there.
Cool.
I like going to California for shows.
Yeah, when I flew out in like September, like I literally like flew out that morning and was like up until like 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. their time. So I was like basically like up for like 23 hours straight by the time I had seen Gasp, and I was just like, well, being a straight edger, this is probably the best mindset I can be for
we
like
just
watching.
lost our last listener.
Fuck.
Are you admitting that you
Yeah,
don't drink?
we're each of us occupies one of the most unpopular subsects of people.
Oh God. Okay, go on. So you were up for like 24
Yeah,
hours.
so it was basically like the best way I could see Gasp is just being like miserably tired, but it was still fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I like slept a bunch and just kind of like dicked around Oakland for another day, and then
Did
like
they play like really late?
they played last, but I mean
What time is that?
they probably went on at like midnight, I want to say, so they were done by like 12:45. But I had a pretty early flight out, so I had to get up at like 5 that day. So with the time difference, it was
Right.
basically like it sucked, but it was
Yeah.
awesome.
That's cool.
So yeah, I'm not above like flying out to like the West Coast for a one show. I've done it before and I'll do it again.
But there's something to be said for seeing a band when you're like super exhausted and you're kind of like delusional.
It kind of like makes it like validates the like you're like, you know what, this sucks, but I'm glad I'm doing it.
Right. I don't know. It's reassuring. No way.
But basically, if I fly out to California to see SU19B, it means they'll do an East Coast tour next year. So
You think
if that
so?
happens,
Oh, yeah.
you're welcome, East Coast.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Thank
just based
you.
on my history of every time I go out to the fucking West Coast to see something.
Who's going to book that, Brian?
There you go.
Maybe we should.
There you go.
I'm trying to think of like, I think the most delusional I was seeing a band was Lycanthropy at Obscene Extreme at 3:30 in the morning. No, it was Coffins played an after show at MDF, but there were a bunch of bands that played like who's the tallest grind band in
Gride.
Gride. Okay, so the tallest grind band, Gride, played the show.
I'm glad that I actually had an answer for that and it was correct.
It is like one
Yeah,
of
that
the members-
motherfucker's like 8 feet tall.
One's like 6'3", one's like 6'4". They're like so fucking tall. Anyway, they're the best. They're nice dudes. They have great music.
Yeah, their
They're-
singer makes me look like a small child.
Yeah, for sure. Like they're so fucking big. So Gride played. What did Gride played?
Yeah.
Yes. Why am I like spacing on this? Okay, so it was an after show, but there was some issues with the setup or something. And I remember I was there with Geraldo, and he's really big, and there weren't any chairs, so it was just like, let's just go to sleep. So if you just sit, and then I kind of curl up on your lap, because Geraldo's like 6'4". Then I don't have to touch this gross floor. It's like covered in black sludge. And so we kind of like slept for a minute, and then like he woke me up and he's like, Coffins are going to play. And I was like, what fucking time is it? And then Coffins started playing and the sun was coming up in the windows. And it was beautiful. It was one of the most magical moments of my life. Like half asleep, seeing Coffins fucking kill it. The sun's rising. And in beautiful Baltimore.
Yeah, over lovely sunrise over the scenic bay of Baltimore.
Yeah, in like six short
the
hours, I'm going to be
fishermen
at
are bringing-
Maryland Death Fest.
The fishermen are bringing in the lake trouts, the harvest of the day.
Oh yeah, it was great. It was great. And like the very few friends that I have that are like that were at that show, like we still talk about it when we see each other. Like, man, that fucking Coffins show, fucking crazy. Coffins has never been the same since. Like
Yeah.
they're always good live, but like no.
But it's never like playing as the sun rises.
Oh yeah, it was great. And then I remember I was like half awake, like 2 hours later in the grocery store trying to get some food, because at the time like there was no vegan food at Maryland Death Fest, and I'm just like hummus, and I see one of the members of Coffins in the grocery store, and I was like trying to tell him it was a good set, but there's like a language barrier, and he just kept saying like Sarah Lee, and I was like, what? And I realized like after
He was
like 10
asking you
minutes,
for like cake mix.
yes, and then he explains in like broken English that his mother like would kill him if he went to America and
And
didn't
didn't
bring
come
back
back
Sarah
Sarah
Lee.
Lee.
Yeah, so I had to help him find cake mix, and it was really fucking cute.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That's a good story.
Yep. And he thanked me like the next day when I saw him at one of the shows. But yeah, that was a good time. Sleep deprived bands are always good.